Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I get asked this question again and again about whether it's okay to draw pictures or not. So I'm going to give you 4 opinions on drawing something in the Hanafi madhab. The whole thing actually is the whole debate is around this thing, which is the ruh. Does something have a soul or not? Because in all the ahadith where this thing is prohibited, there's a word here which is tasweer, which the Prophet ﷺ uses. He says the word al-musawwirun, those who do tasweer. Now, was it a word that refers to 3D forms like the idols which the polytheists in the Prophet ﷺ's time used to create? Because a lot of it is to do with that. So they would create a statue and the people would worship those statues. So the Prophet ﷺ said, those who do tasweer, and if he's referring to those statues, it means that on the Day of Judgment, the Prophet ﷺ says that Allah will bring those things back up and ask the person to put the soul in those things, because only Allah Azza wa Jalla is the Khaliq, He's the creator. Now, other ulama have said tasweer is not just to do with the idols, they've said it's to do with drawings as well. So anything that might depict something which is the ruh again, something that has got a soul, you got to be careful whether you can draw it or not. So I'm going to give you these opinions here in the Hanafi madhab, and the first one is these are basic drawings that I've just done now. You can tell I'm not a good drawer, but the first is this one, which is, you see the head here, it's got the eyes, it's got the nose, it's got the mouth and everything else, but the body is actually detached from the head. So according to the strictest opinion in the Hanafi madhab, this is allowed. So if you draw anything, you just detach the head from the body. Why? The reason is because then it doesn't become the ruh. You can't say it's got a soul, because you can't say that thing is alive now. Or it could be alive. It couldn't be alive because there's no head, there's no neck there. There's nothing joining it to the body, right? So that's the strictest sort of opinion. Then you've got this one, the next strictest opinion, which is that you can draw the full picture with the hair, with the neck joining the head to the body and so on. But you should do mahwul wajh, which means that remove the features of the face, which is that don't have any eyes, nose, mouth, which again, the ruh, meaning that this thing, you can't even call it something that would live, right? It couldn't have a soul, it couldn't live because it doesn't have any eyes, nose, mouth, and what creature can live like that, right? So that's the next opinion. And the next opinion is that you can have the full body, you can have the neck, you can have the whole face, but as long as you remove the eyes, okay? And that's an opinion from Abdullah bin Abbas radiallahu anhu, that if it doesn't have eyes, then how can it be the ruh, right? How can it be something which has a soul? And the next opinion is, and there's an opinion in the Hanafi madhab, that for educational purposes, children can draw the full thing, so eyes, nose and mouth, and with everything else, right, neck and body and everything attached, although this is a very small, weak, minor opinion in the Hanafi madhab. I must point that out, okay? So I'm sure there's going to be other opinions out there which would say that all of these are wrong because of the fact that you're just drawing something. I'm sure outside of the Hanafi madhab you're going to get other opinions. That's up to you, whichever madhab you follow or whichever way you take. But I thought I'd share this with you. So it depends now which one you want to take, and depending on that, you can you can go ahead with your children drawing things, especially when it comes to children. Can they draw? Can they not draw? So personally, this one is one of the easiest ones to get away with having everything there, but just make sure that the head is not attached to the body. And it's actually the strictest opinion, meaning that if you can get this done, then according to most scholars in the Hanafi madhab, is actually allowed. So that's probably the easiest one to go with if you still want to remain on the strictest opinion. And do remember that a lot of this is to do with this whole thing about the ruh, whether it is something which can have a soul, and some have debated whether this actually falls under tasweer, because they said tasweer is to do with 3D images, but others have said no, it's to do with 2D images as well. And even if it is 2D images, then this would be the one that would get you out of trouble. So anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.